But going into new music that came out this Friday, and I do like besides Shy Glizzy Junk just being trash, I do kind of realistically want to just even point out the fact that I think even for when I seen a dude make a video when he was talking about 21 Savage. And I mean, of course, Atlanta is different, so people don't look at doing like 21 Savage or Young Thug or Lucci doing Big Bank. They don't look at that doing, I guess, like a local podcast platform because, I mean, who Big Bank is. But realistically, it's still local because, I mean, it is. I mean, let's be clear, Big Bank, I mean, of course, the Breakfast Club pick it up, take clips from it or whatever the case may be. So it may not feel as local. But for somebody like Shy Glizzy, not just the music being trash, but you can't just put out music and you're not doing no marketing and promotion. Like, you're not Beyonce, you're not Drake. I think a lot of people have to, especially for a lot of rappers, where it's like, you kind of like at this point, I ain't gonna sit here and say you I mean, you a little bit bigger than local because I mean, of course, you can pay for promotion on Say Cheese and academics, but people not really talking about it. So when I'm sitting here saying like, if you listen to Joe Budden on Saturday, they didn't bring up Shy Glizzy. If you listen to the Breakfast Club on Friday and Nyla Simone, she's from the DMV area. When she played her new music on Friday, and she got a segment on Fridays where it's called Pass the Ox. She didn't bring up Shy Glizzy. They talked about 21 Savage. They talked about Nas and Preem. They talked about whoever else. Nobody didn't bring. So that's my thing when I'm sitting here saying, even for somebody like Shy Glizzy, if you coming back out, you gotta kind of get back on your local podcast run, because it's like Shy Glizzy still kind of like, if you listen to this project, he rapped like we were still in the DMV era of like, yeah, well, you were the biggest rapper from this area because people was listening to Go-Go. I mean, he should do a front porch. He should do a tequila talk. He should do everything because people, nobody's nationally is talking about it. So you can't act like you bigger than the area because nobody nationally is talking about it. Like if no other national bigger podcasts or bigger radio stations aren't talking about you, you have to come and do local stuff. But even still, the music is horrible. So I mean, I'm not even mad that you don't do no promo run because there's nothing even good to talk about with the music. The music just sound like literally, if you listen to that whole project, real quick, before even just to kind of stay right there, when I'm saying how bad it is and how kind of like out of touch it is, I'll start with just the very first song. The very first song on the project is called Free Car. Shy Glizzy, I think you got to be like 33, close to 35. Bro, you putting out a Free Car song and doing it by yourself is corny. Like that to me is almost like some culture vulture stuff because one, you don't live here no more. So you sitting here taking something that the kids is doing and not putting the kid on the song, to me is corny. It sound like that Free Car song sound like what a white boy would sit here and go do if he was trying to make a drill song. Like how people felt about Slim Jesus when he came out and he was doing the drill music. Me listening to that, because if you listen to pick one, I don't know none of these youngest names by all the top of my head, but if you go down a rabbit hole on YouTube and pick up one of these DMV or DC rappers that's doing the Free Car music and listen to how that authentic that music sounds, like that music sounds extremely dangerous. It sounds like something I shouldn't be listening to, and I know for a fact I ain't coming on this podcast to talk about. That's how wild that music sounds. So for it to sound like that, and then the Shy Glizzy come in into it, and it sound like the white person version of this. Like you black, you from one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in DC, but listening to that song, it sounds like a nigga who ain't from here making a Free Car song. So it was just like that to me was like, it's like you too out of touch, and you can't do the, when you were coming up.
Who is his audience? Because do his audience grow, or is it still the same? You know what I'm saying? Like, because like I said, I didn't know nothing about it. I just saw it just before you even walked in here. When I see, I'm like, damn, who the hell got a go-go picture on Apple Music? So, who is his audience? Is his audience still young, or is it like, you know what I'm saying? Like who?
I mean, his audience, I would hope he would want his audience to grow. So, I mean, his audience realistically is 30 and over. Because you think about when he came out, you saying if he came out 10 years ago or 2011, 2012, even if somebody was if you someone they was 15, they 28, 27 now or 30 on the nose, whatever. I'm like, dog, you and your people 9 times out of 10, a core Shy Glizzy or somebody who called themselves a real Shy Glizzy fan, 9 times out of 10, they ain't no younger than 28. If that. Realistically, I'm shooting like I think that they realistically probably in their 30s. So it's just but even for that to be said, it's just like listening to the music, it just don't sound right. And I think he's still rolling out and pushing out music. Like listening to the music, you still think people gonna respond like we not used to. Like, because let's be clear, when you first came out, yeah, all right. And if your competition was Fat Trail, Top Dollar, Light Show, and the Slutty Boys, yeah, cool. You could probably even still may have got away with that, but that's not your competition no more. None of them really don't put out music no more. They not and if they do, they just doing it just off of the strength of just because they like putting out music. They're not trying to do it on a competitive level. So you to put out this music on the same day as somebody 21 Savage dropping, and you on Apple Music, your competition now is 21 Savage. When we listening to Shy Glizzy, I'm comparing you now to even some of the people who came up after you, from the Lil Babies, the Gunners, Huncho. Any of these people, that's who these people ain't even your peers, no, realistically, because they didn't already bypass you. But that's who we're gonna compare it to now, because now DMV people not just listening to go-go no more. There's not just a handful of local artists like sitting here, okay, these people are the ones who kind of on World Star and they on live mixtape. No, you're competing with the world now, and you're not, and I'm listening to this music, it can't compete with the world. I can't even sit here. I don't even. This is, to me, this is his worst project. So if he was still competing with those 3 or 4 dudes, it wouldn't have been compared to what he used to put out. Like, this was literally his worst project. I can't compare it to nothing else he put out before. But it's just him on the jump, like whining. It sounds like you whining, and you responding to Ant Glizzy, but not trying to like say his name. So you saying bloggers and this, that, and the third. Like, it's only people who even acknowledge you realistically, and that's not no shade. Is Ant Glizzy and the DMV hoods and news? Nobody not checking for Shy Glizzy. Nobody give a fuck. So you can't come out and rap and make it seem like niggas gonna give a fuck what you talking about. And then and it's a difference between like when you're making a music about like heartbreak. If I'm comparing it to like Wale project, Wale sounds like a grown man who's looking in the mirror and been through relationship problems, and he's holding himself accountable. Shy Glizzy on that joke sound like he's whining about. He literally sound like a nigga whining about relationships wasn't going right for him from tricking on bitches. And then for niggas, because guess what niggas gonna do? They just gonna Google. Oh, I didn't, because I literally was in a group chat with like 20 niggas, and niggas was like, I ain't even know Shy Glizzy ever was in a relationship. Why the fuck he on this junk crying like he got girl problems? And then the only thing niggas gonna pull up is, nigga, you been in relationships with white bitches catching domestic violence charges. Nobody don't want to hear that shit.
The last time we talked about him was the interview shit.
But again, so that's my point of nobody don't care, and the music, just me listening to it, it's like, bro, you had the audacity to try to redo TCB Ass Clap
on it,
nigga, and it ain't even a go-go version. Like, there's not even like a bounce beat to it. It's just like he just tried to, and I mean, of course, realistically, that TCB joint is an original. It's Project Pat, but he tried to do it like TCB. He even mentioned Polo in the song and all that. I'm like, bro, come on, stop. But that's my point. Like but my thing is, it's so out of touch and it's so nasty. It's like, but niggas who actually make go-go beats and can change them in there. You could have went and got you could have got Roger to help you. You could have got Pork Chop. I know that you know these people personally. And if you don't know these people, you know people who know them personally. Like, who got their number and they can call them and they will answer off the rip. So for you to try to sit here and you try to redo TCB, make that ass clap, and not even make this shit sound like some go-go shit was just stupid. Like, that was a smack to the whole city in the face. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
So, but when you, the out of touch situation is just like, all right, like a lot of people try to clown Wale, but I feel like even with Wale, he
nigga, we compare this is how you know how bad this is for Shy Glizzy. If you compare, like, think about the biggest critiques to Wale, oh, he not from DZ, this, that, and the third. If you listen to what I'm saying, if you talking about from an out, I seen somebody even, I forgot who I seen, somebody post this on Threads, and they was like, and they not even from they not even from here. They was like, what did they say? I just watched Wale's Off the Porch, and he feels more DC than the niggas that people sit here and say is really from DC. So with all that being said, if you compare, if I'm just going off the last 2 projects that both of these 2 people put out, or just even the way they're doing it, even the way Wale has done his rollout for his project, the sneaker, shout out to Wale, he had a sneaker release at Iverson Mall for those Nike flights. If you comparing all of that, and I'm just comparing what Shy Glizzy sounds like an out of town nigga trying to make a DC project. Like, listen to what I'm saying.
So exactly what I was about to ask, like, because we like, oh, we want the Wale, the go-go, you know what I'm saying? Like, but
no, I'm not even listening to what I'm saying. I ain't even talking about just the go-go.
No, but again, I'm just saying, but because, like I said, I'm not a Shy Glizzy fan, so I don't know what his type of music is. So that's why I'm just like,
his music was like Lil Baby before Lil Baby. Like, he was supposed to be the big drug dealer. So
that's what I'm saying. But if you're rapping about a lot of stuff like going in it, but you're not even in the city, that's what I'm saying. Like, Is he the type, like I said, you're rapping about shit, but you're living in LA, you're living in
no. So what it sounds like, you trying to rap about DC shit, and you sound like a nigga, like exactly what you just said. You're trying to rap about DC shit from an LA point of view, like people telling you what's going on. It don't sound like I can listen to local people who are local, like what you consider a local rapper. One of these youngins from this free cop music, even if not, just take it out of the free cop music. It's an older dude out of Southeast. His name A-Town. He got a bunch of songs with the New Dallas niggas. He got songs with Billionaire Zoe and what's my other man, Montana 700. He sounds like a nigga who's still outside in a trap selling fucking drugs. When I listen to him, that shit sound like some Jeezy shit. Like the shit that got him even buzzing on the internet was him freestyling over old Jeezy songs. But it sound like a nigga who was real live in the trenches right now. And that's the difference. Like you cannot, like people, again, this is for Shy Glizzy, is like, people ears are too trained to listen to rap music now. So I know the difference between I'm listening to a nigga and I really feel like a nigga is talking his real life from a nigga just sounding like he just putting out some bullshit. And this project from Shy Glizzy sound like he was just putting together some bullshit. It didn't sound like he, like, I don't even know why the fuck he even press send on any of that shit. Like, I don't want to hear you whining and crying about your relationships not working from bitches that you was paying for. Like, that shit sounds stupid as shit. Like, it's no way in hell you just listen to Wale put out that project and the way Wale was talking about how his relationships wasn't working and how shit, and then you had the audacity to come back and put, like, what are you doing, dog?
It'd be more authentic if you was talking about, like, in the like you dealing with hood.
No, he ain't dealing with hood bitches, so he can't make some shit for no hood, but how? He dealing with white girls. But this is the thing, again, when I'm sitting here saying where he's so detached and not even in, like, sometimes the male ego could be so dumb, and this is not no shade to him, but it's like where we at now, when you first came out, you seem like, oh, this is, man, he a young nigga, he with all the drug dealer niggas, but now it's like, nigga, you don't look like you got more money than Lotto or Glorilla or Meg Thee Stallion. Like, it's bitches out here who look like they fucking like doing it on a different level. So now when you coming out and that's what your raps is still trying to cater to that style, it don't hit the same, because it's like we see it, like we not just, it's not just what we see in DC no more. We all on social media. So when we comparing rappers, like you rapping about shit and it's just like it don't even sound rich to like regular shit that we see on scamming niggas on the internet be doing, like you. But so it's hard for the music to transition and hit the same way. It's like you either got, like, at this point in the age where rapping is like, you gotta really rap to the struggle or you gotta make some hit records. And I always say that, and he don't got no hit records and you're not talking to the struggle, so you're gonna always miss people with just some blah generic shit.
Because I would just, because like, even with you, how you explain it, and it's like, if we just keeping it in the DMV and just how, like, because even like listening to Corday, a lot of stuff that he rap about is like, all right, cool. I'm not gonna say he was a privilege, but he wasn't in the street. You know what I'm saying? Like he raps like, all right,
yeah, but I listen. But again, if we compare, you could name every nigga from here. I'm gonna tell you, you could Corday. I'd rather listen to that last Corday project. I'd rather listen to that last Wale project. I don't even know what Logic last project sound like, but I go out on a limb and just blind eyes say I'm sure that last Logic project was better than the Shy Glizzy shit.
But that because me, like I said, I've listened to all three of those. Like I said, but that's more my, like I said, I don't like the whole gangster rap shit. Even from here, I don't listen to it. So that's why I'm just like I say, here and there.
Okay, so but I'm gonna tell you, and I can even say one more thing that he did wrong, and I think a lot of rappers are kind of doing wrong, because you see what worked for Gunna, it's not gonna work for everybody else. So niggas is trying to make songs like you trying to like sound sweet for, or even because Boston Richie do it well is too. It worked for Gunna, it worked for Boston Richie, but everybody can't really do like the trick and shit and trying to make some songs that sound sweet for the girls. Like that shit just not gonna work for everybody. Like this shit was just like Shy Glizzy doing an imitation of somebody else at a horrible clip. And then the crazy thing is his last project was fire. He had Chris Brown on his last project. Like, I don't know. It was, I think, roses or something. It was like him. It was like a tan cover with a bunch of roses in it. Like he had like a red outfit on or something. It came out like 3 years ago. I
think the last one I seen, what was the joint we had the infrared on it? It was blue.
Oh yeah, that shit was a long ass time ago.
Yeah, because I don't, like I said,
like that. He was like that. I'm gonna tell you how long ago that was. That was before when Shy Glizzy probably was NBA YoungBoy's biggest feature at that time.
Yeah, like I said,
like he had NBA YoungBoy on that project, and NBA YoungBoy was bigging up Shy Glizzy on that project. That's what you talking about.
Yeah, so.
But again, like I said, just even for him though, I think you just got the wrong people around you, and nobody even keeping it in the bean. Because for you to have a little shimmy feature and you do the hook, that shit is retarded.
That's about where the 3.
Yeah, like how do you cannot listen to what I'm saying? Little Shimmy is not a rapper. He's a hook nigga. He make catchy hooks. He make vibes. Why you can't have a catchy vibe hook nigga with a verse and you trying to do the hook and you ain't put out music in 3 years? How the fuck are you? You cannot do. You should not be doing a hook and you got a hook nigga. You got him with a verse. Nobody's coming to listen to Lil Shimmy try to rap. You want to hear Lil Shimmy do a hook? That don't even make sense. That's how. If you want to just sum it up and know how bad that project is, for you to sit here and go get a non-rapper, somebody who's popular for his hooks and his vibes, not what he's saying on the verses, you cannot give him a verse and you do a hook. That don't make sense. That's just fucking ass backwards.
Has he had it since the Crew joint? Has he had a hit since that?
Nah, but I like this last project since then though. But he hasn't had a hit. But I don't necessarily even think you had to have a hit if you were kind of just a little bit more like. I think sometimes if you're gonna be, my thing is he may have seen enough.
Like that's the last verse I remember is that the Crew joint.
That probably, probably to the rest of the world, that probably was his last biggest verse that probably anybody have heard. But that's just not like, it was just bad, dog. Again, if you want, and you kind of want to keep it on DMV and somebody else who was on Apple Music, New Friday Music, man, shout out to Rico Nasty. And that's the thing, and that's my point of like, and of course, Rico Nasty is probably like almost an acquired taste. Like you got to kind of really be into like the rock and roll rap type of joint. To me, it make good gym music. Like if you in the gym, you can let that new Rico Nasty joint play. You can get your cardio in. You can lift heavy weights or whatever the case may be. But she knows her lane, and it's perfectly fit for her. Like it sounds like if you like Rico Nasty, or you've ever heard a Rico Nasty song, and you're like, oh, this kind of I like this. It's different. It's something completely different. She stay in her lane. Her lane is her lane. But again, it's just sometimes for a man, like I'm just looking at it like I need to hear some growth. Like I need to be able to be like, damn, are you actually been out here? You didn't live life. You didn't have some real experiences. You done some shit. Like he ain't just like, I'm just listening to this shit and just like, bro, you might have just missed your window. And I think sometimes them breaks can do that to a lot of artists. And I don't think no artist is above you taking too long off and then niggas is kind of just, we cool on you. Cause that ain't like that. Listening to that shit was just like, bro, you could have kept this. And what kind of throw me off, even just with the album cover, it's like, nigga, the album cover looks so hard. Like you young, you in the go-go with your little gun, John. I'm like, oh, this John about to go crazy. Like I listened to that before I listened to 21 Savage, and he pissed me off so bad. I thought 21 Savage shit was trash because I was so mad that his shit was so garbage. I had to go back and listen to 21 Savage over the weekend and really kind of like, oh, all right, 21 Savage, y'all was getting his shit off. But again, like I said, that was just my little new music thing. Again, shout out to 20. Oh, matter of fact, real quick, because I feel like I got to do a deep dive on 20.